country. I was so surprised to have seen the Chief of Defense Staff's wife providing those things for us. We are very, very grateful to her.
Mobility is an essential thing in the life of every human being. A cripple who is on the floor, who cannot move, cannot really fend for his or herself to earn a living. But with these assistive devices, they can make and earn a living for themselves.
Going to go a long way to help us in taking care of our kids left by our husband for us to take care of. It's going to impact very, very seriously in our lives, and it's going to help me, take care of my kids.
I feel good, although it's not easy remembering me of my husband, but I feel good. To God be the glory.
To be a widow, but for the fact, the privilege to be here, to benefit from the poor, I'm very happy and excited. At least for the next 3 to 4 months, I'm not going to buy food in my house for my 4 kids. So it's really going to help me very well.
That's the news across Nigeria. When we come back, we'll bring you the reports from the rest of Africa. Do stay with us. Glad to have you back, and if you're just joining us, well, you're watching the Media News, and it's time to bring you our Africa News package. Glad to have you back, and if you're just joining us, well, you're watching news on the Hour and Plus TV Africa. And here's our Africa News package. Hundreds of thousands of people are in need of food, water and shelter after Cyclone Idai battered Mozambique, Zimbabwe and Malawi. As of Monday, at least 847 people had been reportedly killed by the storm. The flooding it caused and heavy rains before it hit. Cyclone Idai landed on the 9th of March 14 near the port city of Beira, bringing heavy winds and rains. 2 major rivers, the Buzi and the Bunge, burst their banks, submerging entire villages and leaving bodies floating in the water. In other reports, 6 people were killed in the Sudanese capital of Khartoum during the protest on Saturday and Sunday, and 1 more died in the western region of Darfur, the Interior Minister told Parliament. Bishara Juma also said in the statement, a copy of which was seen by Reuters, that 15 civilians and 42 members of the security forces were injured in the protest, and that 2,496 protesters were also arrested in Khartoum. On the flip side of this break comes our foreign news package. And on the international front, the U.S. State Department on Monday barred entry to 16 Saudi nationals over what it described as the role in the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, as the administration of Donald Trump continues to face harsh criticism over its handling of the affair. Dissident writer Khashoggi was killed and dismembered on October 2 in the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul by a team of 15 agents sent from Riyadh, sparking unprecedented international scrutiny of the kingdom's human rights record. But despite the fact that Saudi Arabia's powerful Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was named as responsible for the murder by the U.S. Senate, who adopted the resolution after being briefed by the CIA, the U.S. president has refused to publicly take a stance against the country's de facto ruler. And in Britain, the Prime Minister Theresa May will meet German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday today to argue for a Brexit delay, while her ministers hold crisis talks with the opposition to try to break the deadlock in London. Britain's departure from the EU has already been delayed once, but May is asking for yet more time as she courts veteran socialist Jeremy Corbyn, who opposition Labour Party wants to keep Britain more closely tied to the bloc after Brexit. Quote, "The Prime Minister has not yet moved off her red line, so we can reach a compromise," he said, ahead of further talks between his administration team and government ministers on Tuesday. And away from the foreign scene, it's now time to bring you some business news updates. In the world of business, according to the World Bank, Nigerian economy has been slipping since 1995 and continued the trend in 2018. The bank, in its latest report on regional economy titled Africa's Pulse, released a taxonomy of the growth performance in sub-Saharan Africa. The release focused on the macroeconomic and financial features that led to the growth resilience on the continent. The key elements that determine the positions of each of the 44 sub-Saharan economies in the taxonomy, the World Bank said, included the level of income per capita of the country's structural transformation as captured by sectoral value added share and sectoral employment share and capital flows as well. The last of the indicators has to do with governance vis-à-vis government effectiveness, regulatory quality, control of corruption, voice and accountability, political stability and absence of violence and rule of law. According to the World Bank, the taxonomy compares the average annual GDP growth rates during 1995 to 2008 and 2015 to 2018 against predetermined thresholds. Still talking business, it is the Minister of Science and Technology, Ogbonna Onu, has tasked the African Development Bank to work towards eradicating poverty on the continent. Onu, while receiving a delegation from the bank in Abuja, urged them to partner with the African states to ensure that available resources are effectively utilized for the good of the people. He also regretted that the image of Africa being symbolized as a region of poverty, saying that much work needs to be done to change this perception. Sports news.
Getting relaxed at a great hotel and spa, shopping in the best malls of this world and touring the City of Gold. There is just one destination that can make you have all experiences in one. Discover Dubai with Wakanow.com. Book your travel with Wakanow and get free airport pickups in Dubai. Wakanow can book your flights, hotel, tours and much more. We have an international travel sim for use anywhere in the world with non-roaming rates. Contact Wakanow.com for the cheapest prices to Dubai. Wakanow.com.
Pop star Madonna will make a guest appearance at the Eurovision Song Contest in Israel next month. Concert promoters, Live Nation Israel and the singer's US representatives confirmed reports in Israeli media that she'll perform 2 songs in Tel Aviv during the 3-day Eurovision competition in May, which features musicians from more than 40 nations. The 64th edition of the contest will be broadcast around the world from the Expo Tel Aviv International Convention Center in Israel, with semi-final shows on the 14th of May and the 16th, whilst the final broadcast will be on the 18th of May. Madonna took her world tours to Israel in 2009 and 2012 and has been a follower of the mystical form of Judaism called Kabbalah and has been working on an untitled new album for the last several months. And that's it on entertainment. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo. The best in sports coming up right after this.
Best concert of your life? Don't just stay cool, stay refreshed with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Pick your lane, solo or bigger boy.
Taste the feeling.
That is how we get looped into a cycle of insanity, repeating the same thing and expecting a different result. That cycle of failure is unsustainable and it has to end now.
Perfection train is back.
They take us to the bush and start asking us to call our people to send money.
What can be done as an intervention for them right now to stop abuse of all children?
Liverpool defender Virgil van Dijk has disclosed that he voted for Manchester City forward Raheem Sterling as the PFA Player of the Year. Van Dijk, who is one of the favourites for the award, having been an integral part of Liverpool's side that boasts the division's best defensive record. With players unable to vote for teammates, Van Dijk stated that he voted for Sterling because he thinks he deserves it, following a fantastic season that he has had thus far. Meanwhile, Raheem Sterling has been instrumental to City's push for a quadruple this season, scoring 15 times for the Citizens. The PFA Awards ceremony will take place on the 28th of April, 2019. And still talking football matters, football legend Pele has been discharged from a Paris hospital after receiving treatment for a urinary infection. The 78-year-old fell ill last Wednesday and was hospitalized for 5 days at the American Hospital of Paris, but has since been discharged. Pele suffered a severe urinary infection that required urgent medical and surgical treatment. While at the hospital, his fellow Brazilian Neymar visited him. In a statement, the Brazilian legend Pele thanked the staff of the hospital for the intensive care and disclosed that he will be back in Brazil soon to continue some work. And that's it on Sports Updates. I'm Samson Oleide.
Many thanks, Samson. That's a news roundup of events this hour from our Lagos studio. For more news, update and broadcast, please follow us at Plus TV Africa. That's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And please do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines across the African continent and the rest of the world. To stay with us, I'm Dave Dalabi. Many thanks for watching. Good afternoon.
This medal has been directed to empower 1,000 persons with disabilities in each state in the next 12 months.
We now start hearing the shoot of gun.
Whatever I have done.
Every public policy has winners and losers, and some will not be very happy with you, while others, usually the silent majority, will be quite happy.
Again on the show where we feature individuals with compelling stories. Stories you will consider not the regular, not the usual, not also the normal day-to-day life stories. We are here to see female carpenter, Google. But first, safety measures.
My dad is an architect, so I've been around this. He loves carpentry. Like, he's always, since when I was small, I can remember him making stuff. So I will be around it, and then, of course, they will chase us back inside the house. They don't want nails to enter our legs. And he was more interested in the boys coming in, but that never happened. I have 3 brothers, and none of them are interested at all. At all. Yeah, so he was more interested in that, but that didn't work out. My mom was very adamant about we had to go to school, we had to finish school, we had to go to college, we had to finish college. So I went to medical school, I finished very well. I graduated with merits from Lutz. Yeah, so, and then after, I said I wanted to come into this. And of course, they were not so keen on it. But, you know, like, you have to come and prove your worth. And people think I just managed, which is not the case. As you can see, I am part of. If you do not know how to do it, you cannot tell them what to do. So they will tell you that what would normally take 30 minutes will take 2 days, and you'll be looking at them thinking that that's it, but that's not it. So I do it. I know almost every aspect of this now. I even take classes in the morning. I'm teaching people how to do this. So yeah. So that was how it started. This is 5 years now. And yeah, I think I'm doing a really good job. I still do consultations sometimes with some of my colleagues, but apart from that, this is what I do. This is what I enjoy doing. You see, look at me, I'm fit. Like, it keeps me fit, so I'm happy about that. But stereotypes. When I started, it was very hard. I was arrogant in the sense that, you know, I'm just coming from medical school. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me do this. But you would think that it is the artisans or the uneducated people that are my problem. No, I would go to see clients, highly educated, and they would look down like, this is a girl, what is she saying? What can she tell me about this? No. So I learned in the beginning that even when I'm going for meetings, I have to take men with me. So I could be telling these clients that this is how we're going to do it. He'll be looking at the man, I'm saying, hey, so this is how I go. I didn't mind as far as I was getting the money, right? That's the most important thing. But with time, your work tends to speak for you. And then when they finally see the face, after they've gotten, you know, like 3 or 4 job friends, they don't really mind anymore because, you know, your work is good and it speaks for you. So that was a major challenge. I lost half my staff at least when I started because nobody wants to take commands from her. There's a difference between an older woman with kids and they're saying, my friend, do that, you know, but when you're young and you're saying, my friends, do that, and these are people that are not used to it, so it's our culture. Yeah, so so I lost them. I said, it's either you do exactly what I say, you get out. And yeah, I actually lost. So we started rebuilding after that, and since then I've had great workers. I have, you know, you have some bad ones, but then, you know, so that was another challenge, getting good staff. Girls want to come and work, which is great. I encourage it, I love it. But then I noticed that when I hire women, in the beginning, you see the men, no, don't carry, I will help you. No, I'm not paying her for you to help her. But after a while, of course, you saw some women there. So after a while, they started doing it by themselves. So I encourage women to come. I love when I see women doing these things. And you still look good even after, yeah, because please, this is not how I look, you know. After this, I clean up really nice. You still look good after. So it doesn't show. It keeps you fit, keeps you healthy, you're happy. Yeah, so we've gone through ups and downs, you know, the lights issue, everybody is facing that, of course. And our factory runs on diesel every day, so you can imagine how much we spend. But apart from that, you know, we're going up, so I'm happy. So 5 years. I've gained experience, I've gained humility, yes. I've gained muscle mass, I've gained strength. Of course, we've grown so much. We're selling a whole lot more. I have gained knowledge in the sense that I can now teach others what I know. 5 years of experience is a lot, especially when you're hands-on. I'm still learning from him, you know, and it's a struggle. I have gained tact. Tact in the sense that I know better how to deal with people. You know, I don't talk down to anyone, I don't talk up to anyone. I can deal with artisans, I can deal with executives, everybody at the same level. So yeah, we've gained so much. I'm happy on the journey. It's tiring. There are days that I do not want to do this, honestly, but I'm up at 6 a.m. every morning. I am. Drag myself out of bed, come and do this. And then it's not just this. If it's just this, I'm happy. Because this, I can do it, and I'm listening to music, I'm there, but then you have to deal with the managerial aspect, you have to deal with human beings, you have to deal with clients. And I love my clients, but some clients are very difficult. You have to deal with Lagos State, tax. So yeah, when you deal with all this, you have to try not to get hardened, because that is the next thing, especially as a woman. You get so hard, you're angry, you're coming to work, you're like, but you have to still maintain your femininity. You have to be happy. You have to find happiness even in what you're doing. You have to come and start joking with your workers, even when they've got you so upset, you do. So yeah, I've gained all this. I'm still learning, don't get me wrong. There are some days I still come out angry, but I wouldn't trade this for anything else. At first, it was hard. It was hard to balance both. It was very hard, because I found this hard to just detach from work and focus on either relaxing or hanging out with friends, or I enjoy reading a lot, like reading books. So then I was focused on building, and the process of building, especially when you're just starting, is always very taxing. So I could break down for like a week and I would still be working, I would be sick, my temperature would be, it was bad. But I would still be working because I felt, this is what everybody should do in order for them to, succeed in life. So yeah. But then I had good friends. My family is amazing. We fight, yes, as all families do, but they're amazing people. Like they would force you to relax. My sister used to seize my phone because, I'm on my phone thinking, how are we selling on Konga really well? She would seize my phone. She would be like, no. They will hide my phones from me. My friends would come, force me to take a shower, force me to dress up and go out. And then they would hold my phones because I had to, just be in the moment, have good conversation and relax. And, at that point, I thought I was wasting my time. I'm like, why am I here? I'm not making money doing this. I'm not growing doing this. Why am I here? But then I noticed when you go through that process of relaxation, when you come back to work, you are 100 times more productive. You are freer, you're calmer, you can think clearer. I tried to balance it now. So in the beginning it was hard, but now I take 2 trips every year, by God's grace, So by God's grace, I take 2 trips. And on the trips, I am fully off work. I don't care if something has blown here. When I come back, we'll deal with it. I've always been very, one of those people, epicals in school. I've always been that. And people didn't really like me because I was also very sports oriented. I have awards from Milo. I have over 20 medals. That very sports oriented. I played basketball, football. That was how school was. It was high grades, highly effective at school. I was sports prefect, went to school. Next thing, I was sports prefect again, Milo Awards. Then university, yeah. University was interesting because I was meant to go into medicine. But I said I didn't want to go into medicine. My mom was very adamant, African, I love my mom. So she wanted me to go into medicine. I said I didn't want to go. I want to do something more sports-oriented, And physiotherapy is perfect. So I went into physical therapy, that's physio. And I didn't really like the constraints. I went to Lutz. Lutz is an amazing school. They will teach you really well, but we're still learning things that if you go to other schools, they're not doing this anymore. We're learning about microwaves. Nobody's using microwaves anymore, I get passionate when I think of it. So yeah, so I went through school. I had alterations with my lecturers, because I was smart. If I was stupid, it would have been better. But I was smart, so I could tell you, no, what I read was wrong. I'm the kind of person that will argue with you in class, and nobody likes that. And now I'm smart enough to know I should not have done that. Yeah, so school was fun. I used to go for parties. I had a very balanced life at school, I did. And then projects, graduation. Yeah, so I graduated with merit. That was top 3 in my class, which was top 3 in my sets, which was really good. And then what else? Yeah, then I went for youth service. Everybody was surprised I stayed the 3 weeks, the 3 weeks orientation camp. Yeah, because they always just believed I was soft, so I would just escape, that kind of thing, but no. So I stayed 3 weeks, it was fun. I had fun with everybody. And then After that was my practice. After my practice, this. So after 6 years of physical therapy, medicine, yeah, and I decided to quit. I didn't quit. No, I didn't decide to quit. I didn't quit, but yeah, I practiced for a year. So after that, so that's 7 years, 7 whole years of my life. Yeah, so I practiced and I did 7 years. And then I decided to come into this. My mother was against it. She was fully against it. She said, no, you should practice. I already had 3 offers. 3 offers, all government hospitals, really good places. And she was like, I should just get the job. I should just do it. But I couldn't see myself doing that. I really couldn't. I couldn't see myself going to work and then doing the same thing I was complaining about, seeing 30 patients a day and not helping. And I was interested in this because you can come here in the night. It's quiet, it's beautiful. You're listening to music. I'm playing like old school. I'm very old school. So you're playing like old school jams. This is something like Michael Bolton. And then you're making things that people will use for 10, 20 years of their life. I enjoyed it so much because, you know, like the first thing I made and I sold it, I was so happy. It's like, oh, I created this thing and then someone is going to use it and enjoy it. So I was so happy. And after that, I knew I couldn't go back. I just couldn't. I came here, I started doing this. And then my father is, you know, he's of the older generation. So they didn't understand social media. They didn't understand that nobody goes to stores anymore. So, of course, it was me. And then my brother came into this, that is Olisa. He came in and we started setting up social media. We started setting up Conga. So we were selling, you know, consistently. And then they were so excited, like, oh, okay. Okay, maybe you guys can come in now. Like, okay, like, you know. Yeah, so we were selling and then we came in. And we are doing really well. So, yeah. So even though my mother was against it, now that she sees, she's like, yeah, Google, so how is everything's good? I said, no, didn't you just travel? Everything is going fine. Yeah, so yeah. And we're growing and we're getting better. And please, I am a Christian, so, you know, I'm very adamant about that. Christianity has taught me so much, not in the sense of religion, in the sense of getting closer to God. So every time even before this, I pray. I want to say the right things, not just for me to look good, but for me to help somebody or touch somebody out there. So I'm very adamant about praying before meetings. You know, I could just be walking and I'll be talking to myself and I'm speaking in tongues. So yeah, okay. So this was one of the first things I made. This is, of course, this is not the original one, but yeah. So this is the Jella series. We name all our products. Yeah, like we named them, you know, Jella, Montag, whatever name. So this is the Jella series. I was so excited because it was very simple. We sell this for 7,000. So it's cheap. Okay, or, you know, pretty affordable, yeah. So we've sold over 100 of this. So just imagine you made this and you sold over 100. I was really happy. I even made like a video on how normal people could make it. And everybody was so excited, like, oh, okay, I'll try it. Of course, I'm sure most people didn't try it, but I'm happy they rather buy from us, yeah, so. Yes, I was excited about this. This was good. Because we're trying to make our furniture more affordable. We tell people that, oh, our furniture lasts 20, 30 years. Most people in our generation are not interested in that. They want something that they will change every 5 years. So this will still last 20, 30 years, and it was still very affordable. So I was really happy about this. So this was my first stop.
You follow your passion. If you have because a lot of people nowadays, a lot of young people study to please their parents. They study courses to please their parents. They study courses that are popular. But when you find what gives you joy, follow it. I have a son who is into baking and he's studying engineering. So it's normally a conflict. Normally, I would have said, let him leave his engineering and concentrate fully on baking. But as I said, passion is not gender, it's not gender-based. I won't say I wish you were a boy, but I'm happy. I'm very happy. It gives me joy. Just looking back, seeing her handle things, doing things, some things I cannot even do.
Okay, so I'm a carpenter, and I love it. Okay. And I know that this is not your regular 9 to 5, but this is my life, and I love it so much.
And still here on the show, we bring you the story of Omozo Ehige, who left the world of banking, safe and secured job for what she learned how to do as a child and grew into as second nature, hairstyling precisely. Today, with her other sisters, All Naturals is born.
I've been natural for 19 years, since 1999. I keep playing that my hair will soon go to university and I'll do a birthday party when it turns 21. But the thing is, I keep cutting my hair because, I don't know, maybe it's I don't know. I always grow it up to a certain length and then I cut it. So right now, it really should be longer than this, but it's not. So I think this year, maybe I won't cut it. So by the time it's 21, it should be much longer than this. All Naturals was started in 2009 as a blog by 3 sisters who all had natural hair and were in all their different spheres of life. So we were answering questions on how to care for our natural hair, how to care for the natural hair of our daughters, because my older sister has 2 daughters with natural hair as well. And the salon started in 2013. Most people think All Naturals started in 2013, but no, it started as a blog in 2009. All Naturals is actually derived from the O sisters. My sisters and I were popularly known as the O sisters because all our names begin with O. And so we have natural hair. So it just progressed naturally to O Naturals. I started off in financial services. I started working in a cash office, and from there I went into working in a cooperative. I went into private banking, and then I went full-time into All Naturals. However, while I was in my financial services career, I was still working as a professional hairstylist on the side. And in 2009, I now went into professional hairstyling of natural hair. At the time, natural hair wasn't a big deal. There weren't many schools teaching stylists how to care for natural hair. And a lot has changed now. So I was in banking, I was in financial services for about 18 years before I transitioned fully to working with All Naturals. So I left the financial services industry in 2015, January 2015, and have been working with All Naturals since then. And I left after 18 years because it was time. It was time. All Naturals needed a lot of attention at the time for the organization to be able to grow to what it is now. We are not where we want to be. We still have a lot to do, but I wouldn't have been able to grow the business from where it was in 2015 to where it is now if I had been working simultaneously at another organization. I went into natural hair care because my younger sister went natural, and I was a professional hairstylist at the time, so I was helping her care for her natural hair. At the time, there wasn't much information about natural hair, so really we were doing trial and error. And we would ask my mom questions about different products. And my mom would tell us about coconut oil, Ori, which is shea butter now, which the world knows as shea butter. So that was what we were using, and I would weave her hair, I would style it differently. We used thread and those kind of things. And as I was doing that, she was getting a lot of compliments, a lot of questions outside, asking her, who did your hair? How did you take care of your hair? And she would direct them to me. I was working at a salon at the time. So after working at the salon during the day, I would be answering questions. People would be at my house. I would go doing mobile hair styling for various people. So there was a need. There really was a need. And we felt that we had the capacity to solve that problem and to meet that need. And that was how we decided to go into natural hair. I had some apprehension before leaving financial services completely, before leaving paid employment completely. I was afraid, I was unsure. Should I even say I was confused? but I was not, I will say this, I didn't have any doubts that Au Naturals would succeed. I don't know if those two contradict each other. There was no doubt in my mind that the organization would do well. This business idea would do well. But my concern was, okay, so you will now leave banking and then you will be doing a job that you don't know how frequently you're going to get paid. You don't know when you'll get paid. A customer is going to come. You have no idea. So that apprehension was there. That fear was there. Will natural hair, will a salon that cares for strictly natural hair succeed? And I guess, well, like I said, in 2015, ending of 2014, November, a good friend of mine told me that I should write my resignation and prepare to move into focusing on my business so that my business would grow. So I wrote that resignation in November 24, in September, handed it in November, and actually left in 2015. So there wasn't really, I had always been in there, so my heart had always been in there. So there wasn't really a definite time where I said, okay, I'm going to do hair now, and I'm not going to do financial services. And to be fair, I still have some dabbles in financial services now. The initial challenges for setting up Au Naturals, honestly, nobody will lie, would be, first of all, us. The ones who came up with the idea. Just, I guess, encouraging ourselves to go ahead to do it. My older sister is a medical doctor. My younger sister is a writer. I was in financial services. So we had careers in different areas. So we were really our first challenge, kind of believing our own vision and putting our vision into putting it down on paper and sharing it with other people. So that was one of the challenges. Another challenge was, of course, finding a space. Where are we going to set up the salon and all of that? The best moment so far in my career has been expanding the business to where it is now. We've expanded from 4 chairs to 14 chairs. And in my mind, I think that's growth. Regardless of how small it may seem to somebody else, it is growth. You've grown from being, small, very small, to, medium or small now. So instead of smallest, you're now small or smaller, whichever way you want to look at it. But that was very exciting. I remember sitting down on my styling chair, looking out the window, how cliche, looking out the window, and thinking to myself, if everything were to scatter today, I would not be upset. My favorite part of running Au Naturals is creating styles and interacting with my staff and customers. I can shout at my staff. They know that, but they know that we have a goal and an objective. So it works out well. This most requested hairstyle in the salon, I think right now, is combination. Typically when we bring out a new hairstyle, a lot of people want to try the hairstyle out. A lot of people want to get it done and all of that. So right now, combination is our most popular hairstyle. And we spice it up with a little bit of roll and talk, with a little bit of extensions. But right now, combination is leading the pack. Nigerian hair through the decades is very, very interesting. I'm actually a fan of the history of hair and the progression, changes of hairstyling and hair care in Nigeria. Some things may seem to have changed, but we still use ori, we still use coconut oil, we still use avocado to take care of our hair. Our grandmothers did it, our mothers did it, and we are doing it now. The styles for the different festivals, for the different events, weddings, childbirth, deaths, Osogbo festival, the hair styles at that festival alone is amazing. Even the Argungu festival. So hair in Nigeria is rich. We are trendsetters. We take from other places and we turn it around to make it ours. So much so that people think it originated from us here. The local techniques, rather indigenous techniques like threading, DD, we incorporate those even in our hairstyling today and even in Au Naturals. So it is rich, it is interesting, it's mesmerizing. And one thing about Nigerian women is we are bold when it comes to style, whether it's clothing, makeup, or hair. If I were to go back in time, I would do many things differently. First thing, I would not delay. We got the place, start. Just start. All the mental gymnastics and somersaulting doesn't get you anywhere, you know. So I would start earlier. I would have started the natural hair salon earlier than planned, than we did, actually. And I would actually have written more things down, structured more, you know. Sometimes people think it's difficult to structure what is not in existence, but I think it's important to create what is not in existence and you kind of grow into it as opposed to waiting for things to happen because you become reactionary. So with the new projects that we're working on, we're being more proactive. So we are structuring now, we are planning and strategizing for now and for the future. So those two things I would do differently. We would start immediately and we would create what it is we wanted to see. Hello, I'm Omozo Ehigie. This is not your 9 to 5, but it's my life.
A continent on the move needs a bank on the move. By continually evolving to deliver greater speed, superior value, and ever more efficient, more responsible solutions. And by connecting entrepreneurs with opportunities globally, Access Bank is transforming lives and businesses across Africa and beyond. Get on board. Let's take tomorrow. Access Bank. Speed, service, security.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, have you?
I think we've done very well in the very difficult circumstances in which we took over governance.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let everybody come and say.
The perception in itself does more harm than actual corruption that you have.
Plus politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
Alright, so now good afternoon, my country people. I do want to join us inside News on the Hour for Plus TV Africa. This one at the story when be say a day casual on top this very clock. My name is Promise Nero. They say the number of Nigeria people when be say they don't buy inside South Africa don't go up as we say that they count for per seconds. As extra 2 people don't join the list or because of say the begay say not be smarting when happen for their country. The latest people when we say they join the list collect knife inside their body for inside Johannesburg and Cape Town for April 5th and April 6th. The Assistant Public Relations Officer, Nigeria Union for inside South Africa, NUSA, Oga Odefa Ikele, now confirmed the kidnapping on Monday. Bonnie Woha, where be say in a 48 years old from Ite, Uboma for Imo State, collect knife wound where be say Kpayam at about 11:45 p.m. on April 6, 2019 for Johannesburg South. According to the reports, people when be say they Kpay the man be they follow him from 152 Hay Street to Fontaine until they reach the gate before they do the matter when be say they take Kpayam. Oga Ikele talk say they don't report the matter, give South Africa police, and they don't open case file for him. He said another Nigeria, Goziem Benye, also by under a civilian circumstance on April 5th, 2019. Ikele don't draw here for the Nigeria government, say make them follow South Africa government, yeah, so that all these beggar them could end. They say fire don't burn some part of the Sam Mbakwe airport for Owerri, Imo capital, and at that kind 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon this one happened. The director of the state fire service, Jafet Okorafor, when he said they call, he talk say na electric wahala caused the fire. He can't talk say the fire for no reach the way it reach if to say they bring equipment when they say it dey for ground. But as it be like this, no equipment can't dey ground. Okorafor say na the VIP lounge na in the fire really catch wella. And also it spoil plenty things for there. Ms. Reta Yakubu, General Manager Corporate Affairs FAN, confirmed the matter yesterday for Lagos. Yakubu said the fire started for that kind 2 o'clock, but the officers of the Aerodrome Rescue and Firefighting Service Department stopped them as it be said the thing on show. They say now several people don't buy for one bank robbery when it happened for Idoani inside those local government area of Ondo State. The robbers when be say that they did like 11, now they go thief for the bank. And also they carry plenty money run. People when be say they buy for the palaver and a police inspector, 2 staff of the bank, 2 customers when be say they withdraw money from the ATM, and 2 other people then when be say they did the bank area. They don't rush 5 people when be say they get serious wounds or go general hospital, Idoani. Let's say men of the Nigeria Army don't arrest one of the thief when be say they go thief for Idoani bank. Now the vigilante soldiers catch them as they run. Now 11 robbers now raid the bank for that kind 2 hours when they say they take by 6 people because they carry plenty money to run. Meanwhile, Nigeria people when they say the thing they pay, don't beg federal government, make they try and raise security for inside Nigeria. Ogatu Bosu, a Keju when be public affairs analyst, be shook mad inside one of the program of the press earlier today, now give federal government homework, say may they touchlight this matter.
I think we need to move into the 21st century method of policing and securing our society. Yes, Idoani might be somewhere that you refer to as not a major town or a major city, but I think it's a major town in Ondo State.
Killing 7 people is a major news.
It's a major news. I'm even coming down to the infrastructure, security infrastructure that is supposed to be available in places like that. Ondo State is an oil-producing state, so we understand, you know, the security peculiarities of places like that in Nigeria. So I'm saying we had the CCTV cameras because these robbers, you know, proceeded from a particular point before they got to that bank and blew it up. So what's the response time of our security? So those are the things that we need to look at. And if we look at the, you know, security issues generally, it's a bit alarming. Why? Because we've just come out of an election, and in the last 2 weeks, what we've seen in the news, we've seen the issue in Zamfara. Now there's an issue in Kaduna, there's an issue in Ondo State. So it looks like, should we be worried about a coordinated crime across the country?
We shouldn't even forget about the kidnap of the fire service boss.
Exactly,
well,
even in Lagos. In Lagos, you know, yet again, the last time there was a serious case like this was that of the students in the secondary school somewhere, you know, in Ekpe. And now we have, you know, a government official being kidnapped. And these things tend to, you know, turn to a trend. I think we need.
The Court of Appeal for inside Abuja don't cancel the election of Mohammed Sani Musa as senator-elect for Niger East Senatorial District. For inside this time, Naindete announced Ikube Senator David Umaru say Naim be the duly elected candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC inside judgment when be said that they do justice. As Stephen Ada read on yesterday, the appellate court don't set aside the judgment of the Federal High Court for Abuja on top the reason saying that the court will get power to entertain the matter after APC they don't become statute as a bar for the law. Justice Adabi directed the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to issue Umaru with a certificate of return. Justice Folashade Ogunbajo on February 7 be don dismiss the preliminary objection when be say Umaru cancel. Chris Oswago been carry come and they say the matter done late by 14 days according by her the law take work. During the week 9, INEC say they go release the 2019 timetable for the governorship election when they won't do for Bayelsa and Kogi State. The Shemo of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, talked this one on Monday when he say show face before the joint body group of the National Assembly on INEC for the budget defense session. Yakubu say before the end of this week, INEC will bring the timetable and schedule of activities them for the governorship election when it go happen inside Kogi and Bayelsa State. He say they don't release total of 45.5 billion as the budget for the joint body group this 2019. While that kind 21 billion are for personal cost, the overhead cost and capital expenditure and 4.2 billion and 1.6 billion as they hot. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) talk yesterday say the money when Nigeria they owe don't do they plenty because as they talk the money don't come up from 12.12 trillion for 2015 go enter 24.38 trillion for 2018 under the President Muhammadu Buhari administrate. For one matter, when they say their national publicity secretary, Kola Ologbondiyan, put for grant, he say they pay now wella, say this government just they borrow money anyhow with plenty tax when he join. And this one don't make everything for the country hard. And nothing they really they go well again, and the economy of the country not to get ahead as it get before. He says since Oga President Buhari enter office for 2015, now so money that they borrow, and this one don't make money when they say the old stock market go up from 17.5 trillion for 2016, go enter 21.70 trillion for 2017, and 24.387 trillion for 2018. He say it don't make sense at all as money when they say they grant, they never use to do better to finish, they'll call they spend now necessarily. Say for December 2018, everything can be 2.66 trillion within 1 year. Oga Kola say Oga Buhari go come go come tell every for Nigeria how he take borrow that kind of big money and the project when they put for the money. He can talk say he know say they carry the money go put for their All Progressive Congress APC 2019 general election campaign and they don't still put the rest for their pockets. The PDP come beg the National Assembly say make the torchlight the matter of how Buhari government they borrow money can still use them. They say make the National Assembly save the future of Nigeria and make them not allow Buhari government borrow money from anybody again, or did they talk with it, they use the one where they say they don't borrow, they do. Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara yesterday don Samayan say make nobody can use by force take be Oga of the 9th National Assembly. Dogara when he say sit down as Shemo of the induction session of the return and new members of the Abuja say nobody fit come from outside come force them safe to be Oga. He talked this one because of what happened with the ruling All Progressive Congress APC of Ahmed Lawan and Femi Gbajabiamila when he said they take the Senate President and Speaker. The Bauchi lawmaker can beg all the parties say make they allow members them choose who they want and make it be their Oga for National Assembly. He say no go come here to tell any party who they go vote for. Say the party get their no waiting day to take talk person when they say they won't do put for election. And now they will take do their business, it concern them. But what you want talk be say it better make they allow members vote their choice. The federal government don't declare say danger they worry our health sector, especially when it concerns mama and pikin when they buy for inside our area hospital there. The executive secretary of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Fasai Shraib, when they talk for inside Abuja, talk say it they pay federal government the way women when just they born pikin they pioneer. She agree say they never put all their power to the end the matter. Dr. Shraib can later talk say they don't open new center when they go they monitor and control the way when they say all these kind of things go to happen.
Every day in Nigeria, approximately 145 women die from preventable causes related to pregnancy and childbirth. That is 145 women. This is equivalent to having one Boeing 737-300 series airplane fully loaded with 145 women crashing every single day in Nigeria and killing everyone on board. Every day in Nigeria, approximately 2,300 children under 5 die from preventable causes. Similarly, this is equivalent to having 15 Boeing 737-300 series airplanes fully loaded with 145 children under 5 years old crashing every single day in Nigeria and killing all the children on board. 1 out of every 10 children under 5 years old that dies in the world is a Nigerian. 1 out of every 8 children dies before having a chance to celebrate his or her 5th birthday in Nigeria. It is notable that these deaths do not make daily headlines in the press, nor raise the same emotions as plane crashes, including the recent air mishap involving Ethiopian Airlines. This is probably because these deaths are among the poor, most vulnerable and voiceless in our communities. In the last 25 years, Nigeria has made the 5th worst progress among 20 countries that had the worst maternal mortality ratios by 1990. Over the same period, war-challenged countries with wide-scale humanitarian crises such as Afghanistan, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and South Sudan have made better progress than we did. The truth is that in Western countries, for example, when a woman announces that she is pregnant, people immediately ask, what is the baby's gender? On the contrary, in Nigeria, we immediately wish and pray for the safe delivery by the woman. In so doing,
and Police Officers' Wives Association, the POWA, don't give plenty better things to people when they say they get wahala for their body, and the ones when they say their husbands buy as they do work for Nigeria. The national president of the POWA, Omobolanle Olonisokin, Naiyan this matter as said.
Because of our fallen heroes, that's why we have intensified our advocacy campaign and welfare activities for widows of our fallen heroes and of course the physically handicapped, because we believe that by expressing love, care, compassion, and encouragement, widows of our fallen heroes as well as the physically challenged people will be able to attain their goals.
I'm very happy for this show of magnanimity and humanitarian gesture. We know that this is the only thing that can help to move over 27 million Nigerians with disabilities, forward. And we use this occasion to call on all Nigerians to emulate, the kind gestures of the wife of Chief of Defense Staff, because we believe that that is the way that we can say, yes, people with disabilities are being carried along in national development.
The Braille machines will go a long way in helping the students to take down their notes, and the Braille papers there. These are things we lack in this country. I was so surprised to have seen the Chief of Defense Staff's wife providing those things for us. We are very, very grateful to her.
Mobility is an essential thing in the life of every human being. A cripple who is on the floor, who cannot move, cannot really fend for his or herself to earn a living. But with these assistive devices, they can make and earn a living for themselves.
Going to go a long way to help us in taking care of our kids left by our husband for us to take care of. It's going to impact very, very seriously in our lives. And it's going to help me, take care of my kids.
I feel good, although it's not easy remembering me of my husband, but I feel good. To God be the glory.
To be a widow, but for the fact, the privilege to be here, to benefit from the poor, I'm very happy and excited. At least for the next 3 to 4 months, I'm not going to buy food in my house for my 4 kids. So it's really going to help me very well.
All right, so now time to grab small break. When we show back, with someone and plenty of that to make on no go anywhere. I say now plenty people them now that they find food and water and where they go pull head after the bad belly wind when carry water when they call cyclone either won't destroy the whole Mozambique, Zimbabwe and Malawi. As of Monday, now almost 847 people the list of those when they don't buy because of the cyclone Idai. Cyclone Idai starting began on the 9th of March 14 near the port for inside the city of Beira. The Interior Minister told the Parliament saying that 6 people don't buy for the Sudanese capital, Khartoum, when they do the We No Go Gree Waka on Saturday and Sunday, and 1 person can't buy more for the western region of Darfur. Bishara Juma still talk for one matter saying that 15 civilians and 42 members of the security force them that they won't job for the one where they do We No Go Gree Waka. When they say that kind 2496 people when they say they join for the We No Go Gree Waka them, they grab them on top arrest for inside Khartoum. All right, so we'll go grab small skinny break for now. When we show back with someone and plenty of that to read them. They're gonna not go anywhere. The U.S. State Department on Monday talk say 16 Saudi nationals no go fit enter the country again because of say their hand dey for how they take by one journalist, Jamal Khashoggi. As it be like this, the administration of Donald Trump they face some kind of palaver because of the way it take the handle matter when concern the country. They say now for October 2nd, 9 team of 15 agents when they sent from Riyadh by the Bonga writer Khashoggi for inside the Saudi consulate when they say they for Istanbul and are waiting to cause some katakata give the international joint body of the human rights record. They say even as they know say Saudi Arabia Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman get hand for the matter when they say they take by the journalists according to information when the U.S. Senate get from the CIA, the U.S. President no shook mouth for the matter. British Prime Minister Theresa May go meet with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday to argue for the Brexit delay when they say a minister take do some big talk with the opposition to try to break the deadlock for London. They'd already delayed Britain's departure from the EU, but May still they tell them say make they give her more time as she they follow Bonga socialist Jeremy Corbyn talk. They say the opposition Labour Party won't keep Britain close to the bloc after the Brexit. Corbyn talk say the Prime Minister never shake body so that they fit rub mind together on top the matter, but the team and government ministers don't sit down talk as things go take go on Tuesday. The people of Israel don't start their voting on Tuesday, and this time around, either say they give chance for the ex-general when they say don't be sure, say it go give them clean government, or they go allow their Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu make it enter power for the 5th term back to back. Now by 7 o'clock, the voting starts across the polling station, and it closes around 10 o'clock. Them say they no go declare the winner immediately, as they never see where one party by itself win majority for inside their 120-seat parliament. This one means say they get days or even weeks of coalition negotiation for front. The next one, na business news.
You got goals, you fancy footwork, you mad dribbling skills, you boots.
Most of you guys should know this drill.
You leg over, you raise, you run there, you tip, you tear shot and boom. You football.
According to the World Bank, Nigeria economy, it don't get some kind of palaver since 1995. And I saw the thing that day since 2018. The bank latest matter on top of regional economy when they say they call Africa Pulse. When they say they release the taxonomy of growth performance for sub-Saharan Africa, and they touchlight the matter. The release focus for the macroeconomic and financial future when they say they enter how the economic take the grow for Obodo the world. The key when they say they position each of the 44 sub-Saharan economies for the taxonomy. When the World Bank talk now the level of income per capita of the country and the structural transformation and the value added share and the sectoral employment share and the capital flow, now them be the things when they mention. According to the World Bank, the taxonomy compare the average annual GDP growth rate during the 1995-2008 and 2015 to 2018 against the threshold when we say diagram. The Minister of Science and Technology, Oga Ogbonna Onu, don't carry homework, give the African Development Bank, make them work towards the one where they say they pursue poverty or come up for inside the continent. Oga Onu for inside Abuja talk say they need to partner with African states to make sure say resource them they are available for the good of the people. He also talks say the pain and bridgebone say the image of Africa and I say Africa and a region of poverty. He talks say we get plenty work to do.
The establishment of the African Development Bank has been very, very useful in the effort to develop the continent of Africa. We believe that the African Development Bank will continue to work very hard for the development of Africa. We are very disturbed about what we see as the state of affairs in a number of African countries. We have seen a lot of development and improvement in some African countries, but generally, if you look at what is happening in the world, we feel very disturbed that if you want to show the face of hunger, it is the African face that is shown. We don't want this to continue. We believe that this should change and will change, and that all of us must work very hard to ensure that we don't allow this to continue. We're also aware of the problems that so many young Africans pass through in their efforts to move away from Africa in search of better life. We are determined as Africans to make sure that we take our destiny in our own hands and build a new future for Africa, that Africa will be more peaceful, Africa will be developed, but above all, that Africa should be able to utilize the enormous resources that Almighty God has endowed all parts of Africa.
All right, so we're still here on Plus TV Africa News. This is now time for entertainment and sport news.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, have you?
I think we've done very well in the very difficult circumstances in which we took over governance.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let anybody come and say! The perception in itself does more harm than actual corruption that you have.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
They say Ogbonge musician McDonald go show face for the Eurovision Song Contest for Israel next month. Now people want to say that they arrange a show, Live Nation Israel, and the singer want to say they represent US. Now they confirm the report for Israeli media say she go perform 2 songs for Tel Aviv for the 3-day Eurovision competition when they say they won't do for May. When they say the future musicians from 14 nations them. They go broadcast the 64th edition of the contest around the world from the Expo Tel Aviv International Convention Center for Israel, with the semi-final show when we say it go happen for 14th of May and the 16th. Then the final broadcast go happen on the 18th of May. McDonald carry a award tour go Israel for 2009 and 2012, and she don't follow the mystical form of Judaism when we say that they call Kabbalah, and thus they work on the name when we say won't give a new album since. We'll bring on our sport to Real City Hot. Liverpool defender Virgil van Dijk don't talk say he vote for Manchester City forward Raheem Sterling as in PFA Player of the Year. Van Dijk now one of the correct person for the award because they part of Liverpool side when they say they don't get the best defensive record. As it be say players not feel they vote for their teammate, now I make Van Dijk say he vote for Sterling because if he say he deserve him because of the better season when they say don't get for the year. Meanwhile, Raheem Sterling and I person when they say they make things happen for Manchester City this season. As it be say he scored 15 times for the Citizen. The PFA award ceremony go happen for on the 28th of April. That now our news roundup of event for the hour. For more story updates, I beg follow us for at Plus TV Africa for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And make you not forget to subscribe to our YouTube page at Plus TV Africa. With the show back later with plenty to read. Make una join us.
A lot of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years. 10 years.
When I see people today shouting, we're not too young to run, we are ready to run. Ready to run to where?
The people of excellence are, to a certain extent, being held ransom by idiots and bandits.
Once you are in government, you believe everything you do is right. And once you are in opposition, everything the government does is wrong.
And so it's time for us to take over power.
You're watching Africa on the Move in partnership with DW. I am Fumi Onwajefe. Today, we'll be focusing on activism across the continent. Not satisfied with certain issues and, of course, with ineffective leaders who aren't dealing with the crisis on the continent, a lot of people are coming together to find their own solutions and raise awareness. We start in Rwanda, where Freddie and Kayla have set up Media for the Deaf. Let's find out what that's about.
Freddie Rangira and Kalia Uwedegije have been campaigning for media inclusion of the deaf since 2014. According to the latest census, there are more than 30,000 people with hearing disorders in Rwanda. Yet few in the broader public are aware of the challenges that come with deafness.
The deaf community is among us the marginalized
into even the disability movement. They are the one who are more marginalized than others.
The idea to launch Media for the Deaf came from a research project on how the media serves disabled people. The findings were alarming. With only one news program available in sign language, deaf people in Rwanda have extremely limited access to information.
After the recommendation I got, I said, what is my contribution or my solution to that problem that they are facing as someone who studied journalism and communication?
Today, the media team is preparing for the next video shoot for their #SignYourName campaign. Diane Gashumba, the Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, has agreed to participate. The two activists were inspired by the success of the recent Ice Bucket Challenge on social media.
I thought it would be easy, but it was difficult. But I was supported and it was good. It was a good experience.
The minister also promised further support for the team and their initiative down the track. 48 celebrities have already taken part, among them local artists, athletes and actors.
nshobora kuganira mu rurimi rw'amarenga. Ese kuki wowe utagerageza? Murakoze.
The group recently won a Young Rwandan Achievers Award for their efforts. Freddie is proud that all their work and commitment has been recognized.
And this is Keria in between receiving the award. On the left, it's the First Lady of Rwanda, Madame Jeannette Kagame, and Honorable Minister of Youth and ICT. This came at the right moment because it gave us the spirit of going on doing more of the advocacy work we are doing.
Media for the Deaf also plans to offer sign language workshops for journalists, as well as media training for deaf people. A difficult task.